Balatro is one of the most addictive games released in the last years. Close your eyes and listen to how Balatro sounds when you score the winning hand. The feeling of getting the deck into this state, having the sound pop up and the fire on the left burning brighter and brighter, and the feeling of having successfully built this deck to beat Balatro, this is what gets me back to play Balatro again and again, even when I usually play other games in between. Now this is masterclass in how juice makes games addictive, but this is only the beginning. Balatro gives feedback to the player all the time, on nearly every move, and does it so well that we forget that we basically play in one UI screen all the time. But why is the juice so crucial in games? Let me explain in this video. If you listen until the end, you will hopefully know exactly how to make your game stand out in the same way Balatro does. First off, to understand the reason why visual and auditory feedback is so important to get right, we must ask ourselves, why do we play video games? Most people love video games because they are in control. A good movie can be awesome, but being in control is simply better than passively watching something. Now, when we open a door in the real world, we might see light from the other side shining through. Hear the creaking, and both these cues tell us we opened the door. And we have to recreate that feeling in the game to be able to bring the player into full immersion. And the recipe here is quite easy. It's the visual and the auditory cues that make the game feel haptic. And in video games, we can give feedback when 1, something important happens, 2, the player looks at something, and 3, the player does something. So let's see how Balatro does things. And immediately, let's jump into the collection here, and you can already see the first cues are when the mouse moves over something, which means the player is looking at something. And you can see this is the basic card design here. The cards are kind of flying over the background, and when I move the mouse over, it will pop up and then immediately start rotating in around. So it looks like the card is actually flying a little bit higher when I move the mouse over. And already this one here, you can see the size popping up a little bit and then jumping back. So it's a really nice move which catches the eye immediately when you move over a card in Balatro. And this mouse over effect is there is also a sound, you can hear it. Just a little click, 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 click when you move over. So this is the same thing that you will hear and see everywhere in Balatro. If I click the collection, it sounds, and if I go into the blinds, for example, you see the blinds always popping up and making a nice little sound like a plastic chip. Or if I go over to the jokers, they will always pop up, make a tiny little sound, pluck, 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 and go back. And every time I click somewhere, something happens. I hear the sound, and here, for example, the window slides in from the bottom, and I can immediately pick my stakes, my decks, and click play. And then something happens. I have a sound effect that guides me into this first UI. So you can hover around the big blind here, click the run info. The run info will also slide into the screen, which I really like. You can, no matter what you click and where you hover, you will always have a feedback. If you have something selected, you always have the feedback. And this is exactly what Balatro does really well. So even if you just look at things, you will get the feedback. You hear the sound of the cards popping up a little bit. You see them popping up a little bit, just so that you know you are looking at something. If you click something, it sounds a bit different. It sounds a little bit like your keyboard that is clicking and gives you this auditory feedback that you are actually selecting something. And to make it less monotonous, they have a little bit of a different pitch every time the sound plays. So I don't know if you can hear it, but if I select 5 cards, the pitch is always a little different. And when I play my hand and have some important things that happen, that usually happens in the UI, you can see the numbers. They will actually pop up a little bit when they change, and then you also have the auditory cue that something happens in the background. If I hit play the hand, look, how the numbers here pop up a little bit and what sounds they play. And here is the sign that you actually managed to beat the level with one hand. It's that the cards are burning. And this is also feedback that your hand was good enough with one hand to beat the whole level. And then when the score is getting higher and higher, the burning gets more intense and more intense, and even the auditory cue of the burning, you can actually hear the fire burning, so that's also really nice. Now this here is a clip of me playing a game before, where I basically set up all my kings that will be triggered when I don't play them, but the re-triggering effects here are really nice. So basically, when there's a lot of triggers happening after each other, the sounds will get louder and louder. The fire on the left from the card values will get higher and higher. And the triggers will be faster and faster. And now you can hear it. This is the reason why people come back to Balatro all the time, again and again. So I thank you all for tuning in. And if you will like this video, please like and subscribe. If you're interested in Balatro, watch the video of Balatro. And yeah, have a nice time. See you soon.